Have you ever wondered what really happens behind the scenes at your favorite fast food restaurants? Today, we bring you an insider's perspective from someone who's been there, an ex-McDonald's employee who's here to share some shocking revelations. If you're a fan of McDonald's, there's one menu item you might want to think twice about ordering. In this eye-opening video, we'll uncover the truth about a specific type of meat served at McDonald's and why it could raise concerns. This former employee reveals details about the preparation process, storage practices, and quality issues surrounding this product that might not align with what you expect from a global fast food giant. While McDonald's is known for its convenience and consistency, it's important to take a closer look at what really goes into the food we consume. Whether you're a curious customer or a fast food aficionado, this is a must-watch if you care about what you're eating and where it comes from. Stay tuned as we peel back the curtains and give you an honest perspective straight from someone who knows what it's like on the inside. Trust us, after watching this, you might just reconsider your next order. 1. McRib warning. The McRib may seem like a tempting seasonal favorite, but according to an ex-McDonald's employee, this menu item is one you should avoid at all costs. Beneath its barbecue-coated allure lies a host of unsettling facts that might make you think twice about taking that next bite. Shockingly, the McRib patty isn't even made of actual ribs. It's a concoction of ground pork shoulder and trimmings pressed into a rib-like shape using something called meat glue. While the process may sound stomach-turning, the ingredient list is just as alarming. Historically, the McRib contained azododecarbonamide, a chemical also found in yoga mats. Although it's no longer used, the recipe still relies heavily on high-fructose corn syrup, preservatives, and artificial caramel coloring to create the fake grill marks that add to its deceptive aesthetic. This isn't just food, it's more like a science experiment stuffed into a sandwich. Additionally, the sodium levels in the McRib are reason enough for concern. Tests have revealed that the McRib contains 70% more sodium than McDonald's initially claimed. Excess sodium not only bloats your body, but also raises the risk of high blood pressure and heart issues with regular consumption. Pair that with long hours sitting in warming trays, leaving the McRib far from fresh, and you're left with a meal that feels less like a treat and more like a potential health hazard. The ex-employee's warning isn't just about the ingredients. It's about the disregard for transparency and quality. When you peel back the marketing and clever seasonal hype, the McRib is a clear example of why we should demand better from fast food. Would you still want to consume this if you truly knew what went into it? Think before you order. 2. The shocking reality behind Chicken McNuggets. Chicken McNuggets are a staple of McDonald's menus worldwide. They're bite-sized, crispy, and comforting, but beneath their golden exterior lies a story that might make you reach for something else. First, let's talk about what's actually inside. According to the former employee, only about 50-60% of that nugget is real chicken. The rest, a mix of fat, skin, connective tissue, and other parts we'd rather not imagine. This isn't your farm-to-table chicken. It's a concoction designed to mimic chicken while cutting costs. Then come the additives. Nuggets contain modified cornstarch, salt, wheat starch, and dextrose, among other things. These additives work to hold the piece together, enhance flavor, and extend shelf life, but they also make you wonder what role actual food plays in their creation. Even more alarming is the presence of preservatives like TVHQ, a petroleum-based chemical. Yes, petroleum. Would you eat something laced with petroleum by choice? And if that wasn't enough to make you pause, here's an unsettling preparation detail. Chicken McNuggets can be refried up to 3 times before being discarded. Imagine it sitting there under a heating lamp, limp and cold, only to be plunged back into hot oil to give it another illusion of freshness. Over time, this reheating practice impacts both texture and taste, but more importantly, it raises concerns about food safety. Finally, think about storage. Nuggets often sit in warming trays for hours. They aren't made to order like a home-cooked meal, and freshness is sacrificed for speed and volume. What you end up eating is likely far from its peak quality. The next time a craving for nuggets hits, you might want to consider what's really going on. 3. Filet-O-Fish, a questionable ocean catch. The Filet-O-Fish has been marketed as a lighter alternative promising to satisfy seafood lovers, but according to the Inside Scoop, this humble sandwich has its own set of secrets that will leave you less than impressed. A major issue with the Filet-O-Fish is its lack of freshness. Unlike burgers or fries, it doesn't have the same high demand. This means it gets made ahead of time and left sitting in a warming tray for hours. By the time it reaches your order, it's far from fresh, and the texture often reflects this neglect. Fish is one of those delicate proteins that doesn't take kindly to being left out, yet here it sits, waiting and losing quality by the minute. But wait, it gets worse. The oil used to fry the fish patties isn't always dedicated exclusively to seafood items. It's commonly shared with other fried products like chicken and fries. This leads to overlapping flavors, and while that might sound harmless, it's not. Fish patties fried in the same oil tend to absorb all the residual flavors, which not only ruins the taste, but also raises the question of cross-contamination for individuals with dietary restrictions or allergies. This practice is downright irresponsible. Then there's the cheese. If you've eaten a fillet of fish, you've probably noticed it comes with just half a slice of cheese. Why? Cost cutting, plain and simple. That half slice is enough to claim cheese on the ingredients list, but leaves the sandwich unbalanced and less satisfying. Food is about flavor harmony, and skimping on something as basic as cheese takes away from the experience. Finally, the tartar sauce. Oh, they give you plenty of it. But don't be fooled. It isn't a generous offering of condiments. It's camouflage. That extra tartar slathered on the sandwich serves to mask any undesirable textures or tastes from old and stale fish patties. While you think you're enjoying a creamy bite, it's really an attempt to distract your palate from noticing something's off. 4. Grilled chicken. It's not as healthy as you think. Grilled often signals a healthier, more natural option, but the grilled chicken at McDonald's shatters that perception. While you might expect a pure, juicy chicken breast, reality tells a much different story. The composition of this menu item is downright disappointing. According to The Insider, less than 70% of what you're eating is actually chicken. Yes, that's right. The rest consists of fillers like modified cornstarch, salt, and preservatives. Rather than the clean, wholesome protein you were hoping for, you're biting into a cocktail of additives designed to cut costs and extend shelf life. If that's not bad enough, those grill marks that make the chicken look appetizing, they're fake. That's right, the marks are pre-printed onto the meat using caramel coloring and dyes, a process that feels more like an art project than food preparation. While this might make the chicken look appealing on the surface, it raises serious concerns about the deceptive practices involved in producing it. And then there's the sodium. A single serving of grilled chicken contains nearly 3 times the amount of sodium you'd find in homemade grilled chicken. When you eat it, you're consuming far more salt than you realize, which does no favors for your health. Excess sodium is linked to issues like high blood pressure, and no one wants to mess with that. The preparation methods don't help either. The chicken undergoes a chemical bath before you even see it, intended to preserve moisture and freshness. While this step might improve the texture slightly, the thought of your food being dunked in a chemical mixture before it hits the grill should make anyone pause. Finally, the chicken is pre-cooked, refrigerated, and reheated before it's served, robbing it of that fresh, juicy quality you'd expect from grilled meat. Instead, the reheating process often leaves it with a rubbery, unappealing texture that falls far short of satisfying your craving. What looks like a lean and nourishing option turns out to be much less wholesome than advertised. Next time you're eyeing the grilled chicken, you might want to think about what's really hiding beneath those fake grill lines. 5. Sausage patties, a breakfast nightmare. If you're a fan of McDonald's breakfast, the sausage patties might have been a go-to for you at some point. But according to this insider, these savory rounds of meat come with some seriously unappetizing practices. One glaring issue is how long the patties sit in warming trays. Officially, they're supposed to hang around for no more than 20 minutes, but in reality, they often sit for an average of 97 minutes. It's over an hour and a half. During this time, the patties lose moisture, become dry, and harden into something far from what they're supposed to be. By the time they're served, they're a shadow of what they once were. What happens when a dried out patty needs rescuing? Brace yourself. Employees reportedly rehydrate these lifeless slabs using a damp paper towel. They're placed in a microwave with the towel to steam them back to life. While it might work, in theory, to soften the meat, the very idea of your breakfast being resurrected with a wet paper towel is enough to kill anyone's appetite. Now, let's take a closer look at what's inside these sausage patties. The ingredient list is a staggering 32 items long. Yes, 32. Among the more concerning additions are preservatives like BHA and BHT, both of which have sparked controversy for their potential health risks. While they're FDA approved in small amounts, the lingering questions about their long-term effects are enough to make you reconsider. Then, there's the issue of the cooking surface. During busy breakfast hours, grills get little attention when it comes to cleaning. This means your sausage patty is being cooked on a greasy, build-up covered surface that hasn't been thoroughly scraped down. Imagine all the charred remnants and old grease from dozens of past orders mingling in with your food. It's enough to make you think twice about enjoying that morning meal. Finally, there's the overarching problem of cross-contamination. With so many items hitting the same grill and improper cleaning between uses, it's hard to be confident in the quality of what's being served. For anyone with dietary restrictions or sensitivities, this could pose a serious risk. 6. Regular beef patties, a deeply hidden compromise in quality. Behind the veneer of shiny advertisements and tempting burger imagery lies an unsettling truth about the regular beef patties served at McDonald's. According to an ex-employee, there are troubling practices in how these patties are handled, and it raises serious concerns about transparency, food quality, and even health safety. If you knew the real story behind what goes into these patties, you might think twice before placing your order. One of the most striking revelations is that regular beef patties are often reheated instead of being cooked fresh. Yes, the promise of sizzling, freshly made burgers doesn't always align with reality. Many patties are pre-cooked, only to sit in warming trays for extended periods, silently losing their flavor and texture. The official guideline suggests a 10-minute hold time for freshly prepared patties. However, employees report seeing patties languishing in warming trays for as long as 45 minutes. That's 4.5 times longer than recommended. This drastically impacts the quality and safety of the meat. During this extended period, moisture escapes, leaving the patties tough, dry, and far from enjoyable. But what happens when these patties become unappetizing from drying out? You'd think they'd be discarded to uphold quality, right? Unfortunately, no. Instead, employees may resort to a low-effort rescue tactic termed microwave revival. Patties that should ideally be discarded are reheated using a damp paper towel in the microwave to give the illusion of tenderness and freshness. This is not only a grim shortcut, but also a disservice to customers who trust McDonald's for consistent quality. The problem doesn't stop there. An alarming flaw in the storage process further exacerbates the issue. During busy periods, employees may prepare double batches of patties, yet instead of a first-in, first-out approach, older patties are pushed to the back of the tray rather than cycled out properly. This creates a situation where customers are frequently served patties that exceed even the loose quality standards set internally. It's a glaring example of how speed and volume seem to take precedence over food integrity. Finally, concerns about the composition of the patties themselves remain unsettling. Each regular patty contains beef sourced from an average of 100 different cows per batch. While this might optimize mass production, it significantly increases contamination risks compared to sourcing from fewer, higher quality animals. Questions linger over the freshness and accountability of the supply chain contributing to these patties. The next time you're tempted to order a standard McDonald's burger, pause to consider what you're truly consuming. Behind the golden arches and its cheerful branding lies a reality that may not align with what's best for your health, your expectations, or even your values as a customer. When it comes to regular beef patties, it's clear that what's convenient for the kitchen might not be what's best for the plate or for you. The 7 patties said chicken patties, McChicken, and spicy McChicken. If you've been ordering the McChicken or its spicier sibling, the spicy McChicken, you're in for an eye-opening truth about what you're really consuming. While these items are staples of the value menu and seem like affordable and convenient choices, their low cost comes at the expense of quality and authenticity. What's being marketed as a chicken patty is a creation that diverges alarmingly from what you'd expect from real chicken, a fact that may make you think twice before adding that crispy sandwich to your tray. First and foremost, these chicken patties are only 45% chicken. That's right, less than half of the patty consists of actual chicken meat, with the remaining bulk made up of fillers, binders, and flavor enhancers. While the exact composition may remain a mystery to diners, the low meat content is a glaring indication of cost-saving measures taking priority over nutritional value. The result is a product that sacrifices quality for profit margins, leaving customers wholly unaware of what they're truly consuming. When it comes to texture, don't be fooled by the tender, uniform consistency of the patty. It's no accident. These patties are mechanically tenderized and processed to the point of becoming a paste-like substance, far from the recognizable texture of unprocessed chicken. This manufacturing process may provide a consistent product, but it distances you further from the idea of eating wholesome, natural chicken. Even the bread-to-meat ratio has been carefully manipulated to cut costs further. With a higher bread content than one might expect, the bun and patty composition make for a sandwich that fills you up cheaply but lacks meaningful substance. And for fans of the spicy McChicken, don't expect the spice to be an intrinsic part of the patty itself. The spice is merely a powder coating sprinkled on the outside, offering a quick way to create a separate product without actually changing much about the patty's interior. The handling and storage of these patties raise additional red flags. Officially, they're only supposed to stay in warming drawers for 30 minutes after being cooked, but former employees reveal it's not uncommon for them to sit for up to 90 minutes. By then, the patties lose freshness, compromise taste, and potentially move into unappetizing territory, all in the name of efficiency. Any patties that don't make the cut for sandwiches aren't wasted, though. They are chopped up and repurposed into breakfast burritos, ensuring every ounce of the product is used, even if its quality has already deteriorated. The next time you're eyeing a McChicken or spicy McChicken, remember what's behind that golden, crispy exterior. The true price of convenience and affordability might be more than just dollars. It might be your trust in what you eat. General observations. Fast food establishments, often seen as convenient meal options, operate under practices that many customers remain unaware of, and the revelations from former employees shine an uncomfortable light on these operations. One such revelation, particularly in the context of McDonald's, emphasizes the importance of being conscious about what we consume. Among the numerous insights shared by previous workers, one overarching warning stands tall and clear. Don't order certain meats, and for critical reasons. Behind the glowing menus and smiling service, striving to ensure products like sausage patties or chicken nuggets stay fresh often entails shortcuts that prioritize profits over quality. Reheating previously cooked items, a practice whispered about by those who have worked the grills and fryers, challenges the very definition of freshness that consumers expect. Sausage patties, for example, may be steamed to appear just cooked while retaining texture and moisture lost during prolonged storage. Similarly, chicken nuggets are reportedly refried to give the illusion of crispiness when in fact they may have been sitting idle for hours. These methods beg the question, how much of what we consume is genuinely fresh food versus reheated leftovers? Chemical additives represent yet another layer of concern in the fast food meal assembly. Preservatives, flavor enhancers, and stabilizers are routinely infused into these meats to prolong their shelf life and maintain their appeal. But at what cost? We may enjoy the consistent taste of our go-to cheeseburger, but many of these chemicals come with potential health implications. The excessive reliance on sodium, for instance, poses risks such as high blood pressure. It's easy to overlook these details in the allure of a quick, satisfying meal. Yet, every bite taken is a choice, and it might not always be a healthy one. Then there's the issue of storage and warming trays. Imagine food pre-cooked in batches during slower hours, sitting under heat lamps for extended periods, waiting to be served. While this may seem innocuous on the surface, such practices can compromise the quality of meat significantly. Texture, flavor, and moisture are lost the longer food is stored, often leaving customers with a subpar dining experience. Even worse, prolonged holding times create an environment conducive to potential bacterial growth, further jeopardizing food safety. Cost-cutting measures common across the fast food industry also contribute to the lowering of meat quality. Simple practices, such as reducing cheese slices or increasing filler layers like bread, indicate an underlying focus on maximizing profits rather than improving the customer experience. These measures trickle down into the bulk processing of meats, where cheaper cuts, artificial binders, and fatty trimmings are creatively shaped into seemingly appetizing menu items. As consumers, it is vital to scrutinize these truths. Former McDonald's employees sharing inside knowledge are driven by a certain passion to inform the public, not out of spite, but out of genuine concern. It's not just about a single sausage patty or a handful of nuggets. It's about recognizing how much of our diet relies on these processed, oftentimes substandard choices. While indulging occasionally in fast food is perfectly fine, Awareness is key. The next time you glance at a glowing menu, it might be worth considering the implications of that juicy burger or crispy nugget beyond how it tastes. After all, health is as much about what we eat as it is about how that food was prepared.